Lando, aren't you so happy to be on set with Dad tonight? This is your first appearance on Home Media Reviews. Do you have anything you want to say? He's kind of the silent type. He is here with me. I'll throw a picture on screen for proof, but he doesn't exactly enjoy being on camera very much. Although there's not a camera here, it's just audio. You could scream, buddy. You could say something. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Home Media Reviews. This review is on Kick-Ass. Not the first rated R superhero movie, but one of the most important. And surprising that I'm saying one of the most important rated R superhero movies stars Aaron Taylor Johnson, who I like to think of as bland. He was fine in Avengers Age of Ultron, but there hasn't really been a role that has stood out for him, at least until Kick-Ass came along. Of course, I say that as he was in Avengers and also the new Godzilla movie after Kick-Ass. I guess he had his big break with Kick-Ass. We'll talk about it later. With all that being said, let's jump right into the history section of Kick-Ass. So Kick-Ass hit theaters on April 16th, 2010, over a decade ago. I was 10 years old when this movie came out, so there was absolutely no way my parents would let me watch this in theaters. Plus, I didn't really have a big superhero interest when this movie came out. It's hard to believe, with how much I'm into superheroes and comic books now, I didn't necessarily grow up with them. I mean, I had some Spider-Man toys here and there. I had some stuff from Spider-Man 3 when that movie was coming out. But I never actually sat down and watched superhero movies up until around 2013 with Iron Man 3. That's part of the reason why that movie is so important to me. It's what introduced me to this genre, and it's what made me love it so much. So Kick-Ass I unfortunately did not get to see in theaters. I do have a lot of memories, though, of when Kick-Ass 2 was coming out. I think that was 2013. That was when I was really starting to get into the whole film-loving genre and such, so I have a lot of memories of seeing giant marquees for Kick-Ass 2. And I remember being a bit confused when the 2 was covering up the ASS, because we can't say ass nowadays. Oh no, it's a bad word. Just a few short months later, on August 3rd, 2010, Kick-Ass was released on DVD and Blu-ray. This included a DVD plus a Blu-ray combo pack, and then just a standard Blu-ray with no DVD or digital download. You have to remember, this was in the era where digital downloads were unlocked via a separate disc that was included in the release. There was no unlocking this movie in the cloud or something. You literally put your disc into a computer, you downloaded the raw file from a server somewhere with your access code, and then you have that version of the movie stored locally on your computer. Unfortunately for us nowadays, those copies and the codes no longer work because the servers have since been shut down, so there's no way to access that digital copy anymore, but you can get it on places like Vudu and iTunes and that kind of thing. On May 7th, 2013, Kick-Ass was included in the Ultimate Comic Book Movie Collection. This collection included Conan the Barbarian from 2011, The Spirit, The Punisher, the 2004 version with Thomas Jane, The Crow, and Kick-Ass. There was both a DVD and a Blu-ray version of this set. I don't remember ever seeing this set in person. I remember seeing some videos from John Flickinger way back when, finding this set on store shelves, but I don't think I ever saw it in person. That's not the Arnold Schwarzenegger one, so that's not the definitive Conan. The Spirit, it's based on a comic book, but not a lot of people like that movie. Punisher I thought was good, but it's not one of the best. The Crow I had no idea was even based on a comic, and I haven't seen it, so I can't speak to its value as a film. Once Kick-Ass 2 finally hit physical media, we got a 2-pack of Kick-Ass and Kick-Ass 2, a 2-movie collection, to be specific. This was released on December 18th, 2013. I'm not quite sure why Blu-ray.com, my source where I get a lot of this information for all of my home media reviews, go and check them out. They're a great website and a great resource. I'm not sure why they have this picture up on their website. This just looks like a poster that you would see on somewhere like iTunes that's advertising a bargain price for a 2-movie collection or something like that. I don't know. It doesn't look like Blu-ray artwork to me. Kick-Ass was once again included in a comic book movie collection. This time a comic book movie 3-pack Blu-ray set that was released on September 9th, 2014. This one included The Spirit, The Punisher, once again from 2004, and Kick-Ass. So we axed The Crow and Conan. We still get a stripped-down, bare-bones set of 3 comic book films that vary in quality. This could have been a Walmart exclusive, considering how the packaging is really trying to push Vudu on the consumer, because at this point Walmart owned Vudu and it was really trying to push that as a viable digital movies market. So it was trying to push, hey, you get these free digital download copies included with your purchase that are only redeemable on Vudu, so buy our set, please. I think Fandango now owns Vudu. Could be wrong on that one. I use Vudu for a lot. That's pretty much the exclusive retailer where I use a lot of my digital download copy codes. Movies Anywhere I kind of use as well, but Vudu is my primary hub. It would then take 3 years for another version of Kick-Ass to then hit store shelves. On October 3rd, 2017, we got the original 4K release of Kick-Ass. This one included the same poster art as with the Blu-ray and just changed the top to, say, 4K, Ultra HD, all that good stuff. Pretty stock standard set. It's not easy to find, though. However, if you want a 4K version of Kick-Ass, look no further than your local Best Buy, because they might have the 4K Steelbook still in stock. This 4K Steelbook was released on November 3rd, 2020. This included brand new artwork, which looks amazing, and as I mentioned earlier, was a Best Buy exclusive. And as far as Kick-Ass goes on physical media, that is it. I must say, the Blu-ray and the DVD had to have either been reprinted at some point or have been overproduced to hell, because I see a lot of those at secondhand Blu-ray stores like Half Price Books and Game Exchange. I mean, those things clog store shelves right now. The original 4K, though, I have not seen that one on store shelves in quite some time, and I never even got the chance to look for the Best Buy Steelbook before that was taken off store shelves in my local area. It is nice, though, that Lionsgate tried to keep this movie in circulation. In fact, it just hit me why we got all of those movies in the comic book movie packs. Every single one of those films is owned by Lionsgate. So that wraps up our history section. Let's move right along to the close-up. Alrighty everyone, here's your close-up look at Kick-Ass. We only have one copy here to look at. This is the standard Blu-ray / DVD release. Let's take a look at it. Blu-ray plus DVD plus digital copy up there at the top. Cast list: Aaron Johnson. Interestingly, his name is Aaron Taylor Johnson. Thank you very much. Christopher Mintz-Plasse, Mark Strong, Chloe Grace Moretz, and Nicolas Cage. You've got Kick-Ass, Big Daddy, Hit Girl, and Red Mist there on the front with the logo Kick-Ass there on the front in the middle of everybody. Irreverently entertaining, says USA Today. I love this poster. It's amazing with the 4 splotches of the characters on all 4 corners. I love it a lot. That is the remains of a Best Buy sticker. I bought this used from Half Price Books, and the Best Buy sticker was still on it. The Half Price Books price tag was over top of it. When I pulled the sticker off, part of the Best Buy sticker went with it, so that's why Nick Cage's face is kind of covered up by that weird splotch. Kick-Ass there on the spine. The logo once again. Red Mist, Blu-ray Lionsgate. The back, one of the most wildly entertaining, crowd-pleasing action films since Kill Bill. That's an interesting comparison. That is NYC Movie Guru. I guess this person really liked Kill Bill. You got a breakdown of your features on the first disc, which is the Blu-ray. Disc 2 is the DVD. And then your third disc is your digital copy. UPC barcode there. Screenshots from the film, along with some character artwork there. Digital copy also included. Tech specs, year, released, widescreen, all that good stuff. Slipcover comes off like so. Same artwork underneath. Same spine. Pretty much the same back. You got rid of that quote and to make room for the tech specs and cast and crew information down there on the bottom. On the inside, we have some inserts here that I left in. Here is a code for when you insert the third disc into a Mac or a PC. These services have long since been shut down, so I can't actually access this digital copy anymore, but cool to see that the slip is still here. Got like instructions on how to do it. And the other side, or the other insert, is a promotion for other Blu-ray releases from the same company. So your discs are over here. Here's your film disc on Blu-ray with Kick-Ass there on the front. Your DVD disc features the poster art, or I should say a squished up version of the poster art. Callbacks. And then here's your digital copy disc. Very basic, very plain, but still kind of cool that it's here. For use only in Apple, Macintosh, or Windows PC DVD drives, disc will not function in a standalone DVD player. That's correct. So for just a standard Blu-ray of this movie, it feels a lot more substantial and has a lot more weight to it because of that third disc that's included inside of it for your digital copy. Once again, though, I really don't miss this era where you needed a disc to actually download the digital copy of a movie that you have. I much rather prefer just getting a code and putting it into a digital movie retailer and then just having it stored on their server rather than owning the file locally. However, with ripping technology and how far that's progressed, and now I have the ability to rip Blu-rays, I can make my own digital copy of Kick-Ass, so yay me! With that all being said, let's move right along to the menu tour because the close-up is done. Alrighty folks, here we are for a menu tour of Kick-Ass. We're starting with the standard DVD version, and this menu looks pretty decent, I'd say. It's animated, it's got clips from the movie playing in the background, it's got each of your main characters up there on the front. Each of your main characters featured here with some clips playing in the background, so I'd say it's pretty good. We've got three options: play, movie, setup, and scenes. Let's see what's in setup first. What kind of audio options will we have here? We've got a English 5.1 mix as well as a 2.0 mix. And for subtitles, we have English and Spanish. No other audio options besides English. And we can also play the movie from this little sub-menu here. Now for scenes, oh, that is really bright. It's hard to tell how bright that really is. I'm standing pretty close to the TV right now, so that just burned my eyes. But that's okay. I should wear sunglasses next time. So for scene selection, we have 4 scenes on a page with little titles for each of the scenes. Let's see how many scenes we actually have. I like the comic book vibe that this menu has for the scene selection. It's really nice. We've got 24 scenes for this movie, and it's not very long. I think it barely reaches 2 hours, so that's a pretty decent number of scenes for a film that is really not very long by conventional standards. Alright, now here we are for the Blu-ray menu tour of Kick-Ass. Pretty similar style menu to the DVD. It's got the same postcard style photos for each of the main characters here, just in a Blu-ray menu style with all your options down there at the bottom. For setup, we have a 7.1 mix for English, a French 5.1 mix, and that's it. So we lose both the 5.1 and the 2.0 mixes, but we gain a French 5.1 mix and a 7.1 mix for English. So that's pretty good in terms of audio. For subtitles, we have Spanish, English, and English once again. So English, I think that's for deaf people, maybe? Although I'm not sure why you would have 2 versions of English, because I guess deaf people can read still, but I don't know. No French subtitles, though. Menu options, what do we have here? This is for sound, if you want little button clicks and such. Menu effects, I don't know what that does. For scenes, let's see if we have as many scenes as on the DVD. We should. They all have the same titles as far as I can tell. I think they're all the same screenshots too. Oh no, we have drastically cut down our number of scenes. We've lost 8 of them. We had 24, now we have 16. We lost 8 scenes. So that's, I guess, okay. I'm not really a fan of that. I like to have a large number of scenes on my discs. For special features, we have ass-kicking bonus view mode. I guess that's like behind the scenes tidbits while the movie is playing, which I like. Audio commentary with director Matthew Vaughn. A new kind of superhero, the making of Kick-Ass. This is a bunch of little documentary segments pushing boundaries. Let's shoot this tempting fate, and all fired up. It's on the comic book origin of Kick-Ass, which I assume that talks about Kick-Ass's comic book history and how he first appeared in a Marvel imprint series written by Mark Millar, I'm pretty sure. I have the original comic book run. I should really read that. The Art of Kick-Ass. They got storyboards, costumes, on-set photography, production design, and J. Romana Jr. art for the film. That's pretty awesome. Ooh, marketing archive. Theatrical trailer, Red Band Hit Girl trailer, North American campaign, and the international campaign. D-Box, I guess that's if you have your home theater set up to where your theater chairs will move with the film, and then Blu-ray disc touch. I don't know what that is. I don't know what meta menu is. I know what bookmarks are, but I don't know how they work. So a really nice selection of special features. That's really awesome. I like that they have the North American and the international marketing campaigns included here. That's pretty sweet. Lionsgate Live. I don't know what this is. Twitter, Facebook integration. Press yes to automatically update your Twitter or Facebook status with your LG Live Blu-ray movies. No, I would not like to do that. So I guess that lets people know on Facebook and Twitter that, hey, I'm watching this movie from Lionsgate. Cool, I guess. That's weird, though. That's kind of an invasion of privacy. Not really into that. I love how it said LG, though, and that made me think of the company LG, not Lionsgate. So that wraps up the menu tour. Let's go ahead and head on back and answer the 5 main questions, as always. Alright, so we're back from the close-up. Now it's time to answer the 5 main questions, as always. Number 1, where can you pick this product up? It's kind of hard to find this one on regular retail shelves. I said earlier that the 4K Steelbook was pulled off of Best Buy shelves pretty quick. Either that or it's sold out fairly quickly, so it's kind of difficult to find this in stores right now. So I'd say secondhand shops. I mean, I mentioned earlier, once again, you can find Blu-ray and DVD copies of Kick-Ass at pretty much any half-price books or any game exchange near you. Number 2, is this product still being printed nowadays? It hasn't been a full-on year since the 4K Steelbook, but it's been too long. I can't say yes, no, it's not being printed. Number 3, should you pick this product up? Kick-Ass is a really important comic book film because of how grounded its universe and its characters are. Aaron Taylor Johnson plays the character of Dave Lazuski, I think is his last name. I just know him as Dave. He's this nerdy kid who has these 2 friends, one of which is Quicksilver, the other one is from The Office. He plays one of the interns, and they're all awkward teenagers. They're just trying to make their way throughout high school, and Dave really likes this girl that he's into, and the girl is obviously way out of his league. It's your typical high school drama, but then you throw in the superhero element, and you've got me hooked, man. That's amazing. So Dave dons his wetsuit, starts calling himself Kick-Ass, and what happens to him on his first night? He gets his ass handed to him. He ends up getting several broken bones, a lot of injuries happen to him, and that's realistic because that is exactly what would happen if somebody tried to take on this gang of thugs that he was taking on. I like that human element to this movie. It reminds you that this isn't actually a superhero. This is just a kid. Now, granted, he does get his bones upgraded later on in the movie, which I think is kind of dumb. That's stupid comic book logic. But for the most part, the movie stays relatively grounded, and I appreciate it for that. I said earlier that Aaron Taylor Johnson gives a really great performance as Dave, This might be his shining performance. I haven't seen him in anything better than this. The only two films that I can really think of that I've seen Aaron Taylor Johnson in since this movie is Godzilla and Avengers Age of Ultron. Neither one of them come close to his performance here as Dave. He's awkward, but he's also somewhat charming. He's kind of a recluse, but also mysterious in a way. There's something about his performance that's so captivating to me. The standout performances, though, are Chloe Grace Moretz as Hit Girl and Nicolas Cage as Big Daddy. Those two are hilarious together. Chloe Grace Moretz plays this total badass girl that's like 9 years old, and she's throwing all of these obscenities out. I mean, it really shocks you the first time that you see it. You see this little girl dropping the C-bomb. I mean, that's amazing. It's also weird and might throw you off kilter just a little bit, but it's amazing. And Nicolas Cage is a kind of a Batman ripoff, at least in his suit. It looks very Batman-esque. You can't tell me differently than that, but he looks really good. He's also a badass. He gives a really great physical performance. To my understanding, he did a lot of his own fight choreography and some of his own stunts, which really makes the action sequences look better. Speaking of the action sequences, they are amazing as well. It's got a very grounded tone because of the fact that it's rated R. We can actually show blood and such, and it's never overly gory. I bring that up because this movie's directed by Matthew Vaughn, who also made Kingsman, which we covered last season. And I don't remember if I talked excessively about the violence and gore in Kingsman. That was over the freaking top because that's Kingsman's universe, right? In Kick-Ass, though, Vaughn tones down his violence to just being ever so subtle. Like, you see blood, obviously, but it's not like, I got my hand cut off and now it's like splurting blood everywhere. It's not Kill Bill like Quentin Tarantino. It's much more subdued. And I appreciate that tonal adherence. I like that he's able to keep this movie as grounded as possible while also having the main villain get blown up by a bazooka at the end. Speaking of the main villain, he's played by Mark Strong. He's pretty good. I like Mark Strong in pretty much anything that he does. He played a wonderful villain in Shazam, even though his motivation was a little off. And his motivation here is a little off too, but he does make up for it in his performance. I really like Mark Strong here. And as I mentioned, he gets blown up with a bazooka. How else can you make a more badass way for your villain to go out than being blown out of the window by a bazooka? First time I ever saw this movie, I saw them put that bazooka on the wall. I thought, they've got to use that by Act 3. That's Chekhov's bazooka, man. You can't set that up and not use it later. I'm happy to report that, yes, they did use it later, and it was great. Mark Strong's son, Red Mist, is also pretty decent. He's kind of a little whiny brat at some points, but he's supposed to be. He's the son of a rich mafia boss, so obviously he's going to be used to everything being handed to him on a silver spoon. And I really liked his relationship with Kick-Ass. I like that both of them were able to connect by not being able to really reach their fathers in a certain way, and it kind of really sucked when Red Mist gives up Kick-Ass and turns against him, becomes a villain. That was actually really well done. I was very upset by that twist. Not like, I hate this twist. Like, no, it was a good twist. It made sense, but I was like, I kind of wanted them to continue to be friends. This movie also has a pretty good love story in it with Dave and his love interest, Katie. She's pretty good in this movie. I don't remember what the actress's name is, but she gives a pretty good performance as well. There's not really a bad performance here. Everybody's bringing their A game. If I had to think about stuff I didn't like about this movie, I don't know, man. There's not really a lot that come to mind. I guess you could say, I guess it sucks they killed Nicolas Cage, although that made sense for the story and was able to ramp up tension. But the grounded tone does kind of take a little bit of a shift there when he gets set on fire with gasoline, although it does make a pretty compelling death scene, but I don't know how plausible that is. And I guess you could say that Red Mist is a little too whiny in some of his scenes. He works, though, in his role, so I can't fault him for that. I can't fault the actor, not the character. Kick-Ass to me is just a really fun rated R superhero movie, and there's not a lot of those. There's Deadpool, of course. We talked about that earlier on this season, but Kick-Ass is the original Deadpool. It showed that you can make rated R superhero movies make them profitable and make them marketable to the general public. Although marketable to the public, I don't think Kick-Ass made a crap ton of money. I think it broke even, and I think it was high sales on physical media that actually greenlit a sequel. This wasn't a financial hit for Lionsgate, but it was a critical and audience hit, so it showed that this movie could be marketable to an audience. Profitable, that would come later with Deadpool. So not only is Kick-Ass an incredibly fun film that is able to take the superhero origin story and make it fresh for a brand new generation of film goers, it's also able to show that yes, rated R superhero movies, they can work. They don't have to just be gratuitous violence, a bunch of foul language. They can have a good story and good characters with them. Although there's tons of gratuitous violence and also a lot of bad language in this movie, mostly coming from Hit Girl. But that's why Chloe Grace Moretz is great in this movie. So yes, I recommend that you see Kick-Ass, although I just kind of spoiled some major plot points there. But you should definitely still watch it, because it's a great movie. The sequel, not as good as the original, but we're not talking about the sequel now, are we? We're talking about this movie, so yeah, I recommend Kick-Ass 1. Not 2, though. I do need to read the comic that this film is based on. I've heard that that's even more violent and more not necessarily grounded, so I kind of want to see what Mark Millar does with that universe that Dave and all of his friends live in. I really want to see that. I have the trade paperback, so I'm going to read it probably sometime this year. Number 4, where should you pick this product up? If you can find it at secondhand stores, you can probably find it pretty cheap, so I'd go with that. At number 5, what price should you pay? Well, for the DVD, the Blu-ray, and the Blu-ray without the DVD. Although the Blu-ray without the DVD, that's a little bit more rare. I haven't seen that one around much. I didn't even know that one existed prior to me doing research for this episode. So the first DVD and the first Blu-ray, those aren't worth very much. Probably $5 each. 3 in extreme circumstances. The original 4K, though, I don't really know if that one has held its value. I'd put that one at around 20, I'd say, is a good deal for that. Maybe 30 if you're looking to get it right here, right now. Same for the 4K Steelbook. I think that one is holding its value at around $35. So I'd say if you get it for around MSRP price, that's probably your best bet. I don't think you're going to find it any cheaper than MSRP. So everyone, that's my home media review for Kick-Ass. This was fun to get to revisit this movie. This is one of those movies that I can sit down and watch whenever and just have a good time. I have a lot of movies like that, but this is one of my favorites. Next week, though, we're really going to switch gears here. No more comic book movies for a while, okay? I want to cover something that's very personal to me. I want to cover a movie that really helped me in a time of need. No, I wasn't thinking about, quitting YouTube or something even more serious than that. No, I was thinking about my voice and how I have, I don't know how you would describe it. I say it's a stutter. Some people say it's a speech impediment. I don't know, I've had it ever since I was younger, and I actually heard about this movie from my mother, who said, "Have you ever seen The King's Speech?" And I said, "No. What's that about?" She explained the premise to me, and I thought, holy crap, that's my story. So, next week, we're going to cover the predominantly British cast, The King's Speech. Kind of a smaller movie. There's not a lot of people that know that this movie exists. It's got an extremely short history section. Let me tell you about that one. But I think it's an incredibly important movie for those of you that also suffer from a speech stutter like I have. But we'll talk about that more next week. With that all being said, I want to thank you all so very much for watching this episode. I will see you all next time. Good night, everybody.